The child tax credit will probably increase next year. And the question is, by how much? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a bipartisan bill that is so far passed the House, but not quite the Senate or the presidency yet, that will increase the child tax credit for this tax year, 2024, which means if it passes, you'll be able to collect it next year, 2025, when you're filing your taxes for the 2024 tax year. You understand? Because right now you're filing for the 2023 tax year, although we're in 2024. Now, there's a lot I want to say, but first things first, this is the least the federales could do because they've spent $450 billion with a B, $450 billion on the migrant quote unquote crisis. I call it a replacement, but different story. I'm getting triggered, so I digress. So if they spent $500 billion on the migrants, they could at least give us a little bit more money as far as the child tax credit is concerned. Now, we're going to get into just how much, but first things first, here's a calculator to get into the details of it. This is on Washington Post. Says calculate how much you would get from the expanded child tax credit. So here it is. Let's look at this. So I'm going to just put in some random numbers for you guys, and then I'm going to get to a news clip where they're going to get down to the nitty gritty of all the brackets and whatnot. So let's say married, and let's say, just for math's sake, 100 grand combined income and two dependents under 17. All right. So how much would that be? You would get $4,000 under the expanded child tax credit. This is the same as you receive under the current credit. All right. We estimate that you'll receive the full amount as a credit against your income taxes. You currently receive a similar tax credit. Now let's jump it down a little bit. Let's go, rather than 100, let's go $50,000 combined adjusted gross. Okay. So 50 grand, two dependents under two. So still $4,000. We estimate that you could receive, or you would receive, $2,236 of that as a credit against your income taxes and $1,764 as a refund. Currently, you receive a similar amount toward your taxes and refund. Okay, now let's do four. Let's just jump it up. 50 grand combined with 4 kids, 8,000. This is the same. And then you see how it will break down. 2,236 as a credit against your income taxes. So when you filing, you're able to use that amount to lower your taxable income. Okay. And then you would get 5,764 as a refund. All right. So let's see how much more you would get if this calculator is right on point. If it's not on point, which I believe that it is because it's on Washington Post, they ain't going to put none up there that's completely fake. And of course, I will link to this video in the box, the calculator, the article. I will link to that in the box as well. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
In today's Money Watch, we're talking about how parents might soon be able to save more on their taxes or at least get a bigger refund. It is part of a proposed change in Congress that would expand the child tax credit. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to break it all down for us. Jill, good morning. Tony said it. Vlad's a new dad. He's in the green room. He needs to know.
He's listening.
That's right.
Ears.
How does the current child tax credit work?
So right now, if you have a child under the age of 17 and you make less than $200,000 as a single or head of household, $400,000 married filing jointly, you're entitled to $2,000 per child. Now, a credit is
Now, it's kind of blocked right here. Let me just take my camera off right quick. Can we do that? There we go. So available to single filers who make less than $200,000, joint filers less than $400,000. All right. $1,600 refundable, up to $2,000 per child under 17, reduces taxes dollar for dollar.
important because it reduces your tax bill dollar for dollar. Some people who don't pay any taxes, though, they also get a benefit. Part of this credit is called refundable. So $1,600 is payable to you even if you don't owe taxes. So that's how the current one works.
So even if you're not making enough money to pay taxes, you're going to get something back if this goes through? No,
that's today.
Currently.
You already can get $1,600 back. Now, here's the proposal. The proposal is $2,000 is the limit right now. we have never indexed that for inflation. So what the proposal would be is, hey, we're going to raise the amount by the inflation rate every year. So 2000 might be 2025. And so it will go up every year, indexed for inflation, just like tax brackets do.
Oh, that's good.
Also, that refundable amount would rise to $1,800 for tax year 23, to $1,900 24, and $2,000 for 25. So more.
I'm not really impressed so far, because I was looking at certain articles where they were talking about all this money you're going to get back is going to be a really big change. $100, is that what we got going on? Okay, 23, 1,800, 24, 1,900, and 25, 2,000. $100 raising up, is that what we're going to get? But we just spent $500 billion on the border crisis. Really? Am I seeing this right? Y'all let me know if you see what I see.
$1,000 for 25. So more people would get more money. Right now, it's estimated that 19 million kids don't qualify for the tax credit because their parents don't.
Look at my man. That's me. You see, he's like, well, wait a minute. You see my man right here? Wait, hold on. Just 1 second. I'm a little confused.
Don't have any taxable income.
Right.
There's some important timing, though, right? People are already getting W-2s, but this is not available until February.
Okay, so here's what's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, we don't know whether this proposal will go through. If it does, we don't know if it's going to be in time for the tax filing season.
Okay.
The IRS has already said when you claim the tax credit, you fill out your 1040, there's a child tax credit form that you attach, but no child tax credit will get paid until mid-February. So you won't get the actual credit until the end of February.
Right.
So if you're an aggressive person who likes to file early like Gail, you will not get...
Look at Dollar Jill got jokes.
Doesn't mind. It wouldn't matter because they will not issue these credits until mid-month.
All right.
Got it.
How much money, real quickly, how much money are we looking at for people in their pockets?
Well, it's going to be more than 600.
Like, I'm the same way. Look, see, this right here, like, really? Like, how much money we talking about? Because she's been speaking a bunch of just gobbledygook, rigmarole, nothing really substantial. Her look, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like, okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. Because I did the calculator earlier, and it said this is the same amount you're going to get. But then there was some things about, okay, you can file against your income, all this and that, and the third. It was weird. Let's get down to the bottom of it, shall we?
Going to be more than $600 on average is the estimate. And it's going to really help the lower 40% of earners.
A tax cut. So $680 for a tax cut. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that's going to be the average upon which you can reduce your taxable income? That's not going to necessarily be cash in your pocket, though. And the question was, let me go back to the question, because you guys let me know if I'm saying things wrong here. Let's go back to the question that she asked.
All right.
Got it.
How much money, real quickly, how much money are we looking at for people in their pockets?
Well, it's
In their pockets. That's what I thought the question was. And then we pan to a graphic of a tax cut. That's not the same thing as tax money. That's not the same thing as cash in your pocket. Because you can reduce your taxable income and then not necessarily get more cash in your pocket as a result of doing that.
It's going to be more than $600 on average is the estimate. And it's going to really help the lower 40% of earners. That's the most important thing. The lower 40%. So $680 on average, but the lower 40% would be the ones who benefit the most. And we'll see if they get this done. I hear that Congress can't quite figure out what date it is today.
Are you
Yeah.
optimistic?
I think it will
optimistic
get
about
done
this?
long term, but I am dubious as to whether they'll get it done for the 23 filings.
Yeah, no, they already read that it's going to be for 24, not for 23 at all. So, no, that's not going to happen. It's already January. I mean, it's February, actually. January didn't already skip past this. W-2s and all that kind of stuff is already out there. 1099s is already out there. Okay, I got all my tax stuff right now, so, nah, that's not going to happen right now. You can't be trying to, like, change the rules or the parameters of the game at the 0 hour. That's not how that works. You got to set it up for next year so everybody knows by next year, okay, this is what it's going to be. Now, can we get into this a little bit? Just because, again, that video was kind of helpful, but at the same time, it was not very helpful. Okay, I'm skimming through it right here. So it says the push to overhaul the tax benefit comes more than 2 years after the expiration of the expanded child tax credit, which bolstered the tax credit to as much as $3,600 per child, up from its current $2,000 per child. Since that expansion expired, policymakers and anti-poverty advocates have pushed lawmakers to beef up the child tax credit once again, pointing to evidence that its pandemic era expansion lifted millions of children out of poverty. So that's what they want. They want a $3,600 per child, but currently it's $2,000 per child. But under the new thing, they're not going to do that. They're not going to go to the $3,600. And if you read a lot of news, you would think that it's going to be the $3,600, but that's just the wish. That ain't the reality. Okay, that's not the reality at all, because I showed you in the beginning the calculator. Let's go back. Okay, now let's do it. Okay, under 200,000. Let's go back to what I had at first. So married, 100,000, 2 dependents under 17. So you would get 4,000 under the expanded tax credit. Am I on the right thing here? February 1st. That's yesterday. So this is a brand new thing. And I'm going to read this. An expanded child tax credit passed the House on Wednesday night, which was last night. If the bill is enacted, it would significantly increase the child tax credit for lower income families with multiple children. I can't tell. Let's do 25,000. Okay, 25,000. Okay. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So if you're married and your adjusted gross income combined is $25,000, which, I mean, how you living on that, I'm not really sure. And you got 2 dependents under the age of 17, you would get $3,600 under the expanded child tax credit. That's $400 more than you receive under the current credit. Okay. So now, am I seeing this right? You would get $3,600. Now, if I make $50,000, I would get $4,000. I would get more. Is that how that works? Am I getting more back in taxes, or is it child tax credit? Why, if I make more, am I getting more back? It's weird. But anyway, as I close, I want to say this. I can't say I'm really impressed. We're talking about Peasley amounts of money, $100, $200. That's what we're going to get back. That's going to be the expanded child tax credit after we didn't spend $500 billion at the border, really, in a year and a half. You know what I would think? You know what's the best thing is we could just reduce taxes. Like all this tax credit and funny math and weird math, and let's stop all that and just put more tax money back in our pocket. Let's stop all the robbery, the thievery, the graft, and the ridiculous expenditures from the federal government. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you impressed by the new expanded child tax credit? Is it going to help you at all? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This was a bust. I thought it was going to be a lot more, because I'm seeing headlines and they're leading with the whole 3,600, the scamdemic era child tax credit. But no, that's not what's happening. What's happening here is not much of anything at all. I mean, a cost of living adjustment at best, an inflation adjustment at best. If that, it might not even be that, because the cost of living right now is through the roof, inflation through the roof, and the child tax credit isn't really making it happen from my point of view. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.